And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Anthony Dahl. Asked the question, who would win a fight, Ares or Ares? Well, the answer is Ares. However, specifically, he's asking about Ares from Wonder Woman. And when he said that, I'm assuming you mean the movie, not the DC Ares, because that is a different entity entirely. Well, not entirely. It's this, you know what I mean. Wonder Woman's in the DC EU, and her Ares is a cinematic Ares, but Ares from the comics would beat the shit out of that Ares. So I'm guessing you meant Ares from Wonder Woman, because you did say that. So from the movie versus Ares from God of War. Now both these guys are gods, so physically speaking, we can't even compare them from a physical standpoint. That's just stupid to do. Although I will say, there's an argument to be made that I think the God of War Ares is stronger. Just because we see more displays of strength in the God of War universe than we did in Wonder Woman. But for the sake of the fight, I think both these areas are relatively on par. So what do we actually see with Ares in Wonder Woman? Well, we see he's a master. First off, he's the God of War, so he's a master at all forms of weaponry. All forms of weaponry. He can make weapons from nothing, turn just scrap into blades, flying blades, whips, chains, guns. He can summon lightning. I don't think it said he can. I don't think it was shown. He's got that telekinesis. I don't think we see him use fire at all, though there's plenty of fire around. I think because he's the son of Zeus, he's got the ability to channel lightning. And yeah, that's mostly what his capabilities come down to. The Ares from God of War, however, has dimension kinesis, where he's able to create pocket universes that he can control completely. During the Battle of Kratos, where he trapped him in his own mind, where he was forced to protect his family for Ares to kill after all, and broke his spirit. Enhanced senses being a god, immortality, only a god can kill a god, which I believe they said. Power bestowal, like he did onto Kratos. This Ares has a flaming beard, and he has pyrokinesis. Ares possesses the ability to manipulate fire in every way possible. Astral projection, shape-shifting. As an Olympian, he can alter his appearance at will. He did that, however, to a small extent. He didn't really care. Size alteration, he can increase his size. It often increases to titanic proportions, as he did during the Battle of Athens. Ares was able to sprout large spider-like protrusions from his back that could be used in combat to hit and impale his enemies. Telepathy, he's able to talk to people through his mind without physically getting involved with his target. Telekinesis as well, teleportation, geokinesis, summon volcanic rock structures to harm Kratos. War embodiment, he's able to draw power from war. Weapon creation can shown to be able to materialize various weapons. And enhanced marksmanship. The only real difference between, in terms of what they have as their arsenal for making weapons, of this Ares and the other Ares, is the fact that Wonder Woman's Ares is actually in a more modern setting, so he has access to more modern weapons like firearms. Ultimately, if universes collided and two Ares had to duke it out for ultimate Ares ship, who would win? Well, from a physical standpoint, they'd probably be duking it out. Neither of them would be taking the advantage over the other. Wonder Woman Ares would summon weapons and throw them at other Ares. Other Ares would just block them and throw them back. There'd be weapon-to-weapon combat going on. Physically speaking, even if God of War Ares is a physically stronger individual, I imagine that, Ares, Wonder Woman Ares is still physically strong enough to go toe-to-toe with them. Really, from a fighting standpoint, these guys are going to be equally matched. So it's going to come down to what are the X factors these guys have over the other. Well, Wonder Woman Ares can summon lightning, which is something that this Ares cannot do. God of War Ares cannot summon lightning. He can summon fire at will and just completely incinerate individuals, which I do think wouldn't really bother Wonder Woman Ares. We saw that he's not maybe fireproof, but highly resistant, particularly when he's on his armor. So he'd probably just walk at her, throw a blade, lands in his shoulder. He's just pulls it out, and then he's just coming in with beastly guns, having maybe firearms thrown at him, which would throw the God of War Ares off because he's never seen a weapon like that. They hurt, but whatever. Ultimately, who would win the fight, though? ultimately, it does have to be. I would actually go with the God of War Ares. The reason I say that is because he's able to alter his size. Because he is probably arguably stronger. Or probably arguably. He is arguably stronger from what we've seen demonstrated in the God of War universe versus the Wonder Woman universe, the DCEU. We just don't see him illustrate his power very much in terms of physicality. Even though we get an idea how strong Wonder Woman is, so we can kind of use that as a benchmarker, it's still not really something that we know. We know he's far beyond a normal human. We know he can give Wonder Woman, before she gets all superior on him, a real run for his money. But a real run for her money. But is he a Superman level strength kind of individual? Aquaman even? I don't know. I just do not know. Doomsday? I don't think so. At least not from what we can see him demonstrate. But still, why would God of War Ares win over him? Besides strength, he honestly just has more effect. If he really wanted to, he could just do the dimensional kinesis, and trap him in a pocket universe. As far as we can tell, the whole pocket universe thing, other universe, that's not addressed in DCEU at all. That's probably something that's beyond even the gods' capabilities. You're gonna have to go for a magic user with that or something. So yeah, it's. And even if we go beyond that, he just has more overall abilities. He can astral project, which I do believe the areas we see in DC and the Wonder Woman movie can kind of do that. Telepathy, as well as telekinesis and teleportation and geokinesis, which that Ares does not have. He does have lightning abilities, but frankly, the fire plus geo can probably either counter or at the very least stave off those powers. So ultimately, I do think it'd be a long ass fight though. These guys would just be boom, boom, wailing into each other all freaking day, night, for God knows how long. Ultimately, though, it would be the Ares from God of War, who I think is also a bit more of a brutal individual, comparing the two. So, yeah, I gotta go Ares God of War on that one. Is there a way that the Ares from Wonder Woman wins? Sure, he's got lightning, which is something, and is a god, so theoretically speaking, he can kill another god, I'm guessing. And I'm guessing gods in God of War are also similar to that, in that they can be killed by other gods. So I wouldn't say it's impossible. I just think it's not very likely. I'm going to go 9 out of 10, so 90% of the time I think God of War Ares wins. But who do you think wins in an Ares versus Ares match in this case? Let me know in the comments below. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I just repeated that. Why am I doing that? If you have an idea for who would win, that's what I'm going to say. Star Wars, superhero, magic, what if, anything I do on the channel, put that in the comments below. Let me know. I'll do that at some point. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time. Have a good one, folks.